Welcome to Chapter 7 of SuperSonic Sand, Find Out Friday. Now, I know what you're thinking. My production values have really dipped, and you are correct. It's because it's very hard to fit 7 people on a screen in OBS. So I am taking that. We have a lot of collaborators on this one, and number 7 is incredibly fun. So I got to do something I really wanted to do, which is bring one of my radio heroes in with one of my electronic music heroes, make them merge into a song, and then my wizard here has his angels on screen, and we'll explain all of that to you as we go. Dear wizard, how are you today?
Very good, my queen. But I'm getting a little bit hot in here, so I think I'll. This is only just because you put a challenge up to me earlier on to color coordinate with you today. So it took me a lot of digging through the bedroom to find a shirt. And my friend Susan in Texas, hi Susan, said I needed a turquoise ascot to go with it, with whatever an ascot is. So it is actually me underneath here, and I said I'd top it off with my New York, my shades that I bought in New York for $5 on the street about 25 years ago. So hi, it's wonderful to have everybody here. So it's a great journey. Very excited about this one, Rebecca.
Yeah, very, very excited. So obviously everyone can see everyone. So this Find Out Friday is not as exotic as they usually are or as alluring. Welcome, everybody. So we have obviously Roddie Cleere, who is an incredible human being. Roddie, how are you?
I'm very good, Rebecca. Thanks very much.
Yeah, so it's just an absolute privilege to be able to have your iconic voice in a track.
Well, the funny thing is, I've been, 40 odd years doing radio, and I've never actually been on the other side of the whole music thing. I've never been, well, I have recorded before, but nothing original. I've done voice recording, spoken word recording before, but never actually a musical piece like this, you know. So it was when Sean got in touch with me originally, I thought, yeah, they must have gone off the rocker completely. And when he told me what it was all about, and even worse again, when he sent me the script that he wanted me to read, I suddenly became a scientist overnight. Now I know all about SuperSonic Sand.
Yeah, so like this track is self-entitled after the project, so I guess it's why there's so many collaborators, because when we were trying to name the project, myself and Sean had this kind of brain melt where we just kept putting words down and randomly eventually found SuperSonic Sand, which I know sounds crazy. And when we Googled it, we found out it's actually a scientific terminology.
Yeah.
We got this weird idea that maybe if we had a really cool voice to do a voiceover over a track with an electronic artist, we could have a supersonic soundtrack, which is because whose voice would I want on a track other than Roddie Cleere's? Like,
well, I do need to thank the 4 professors, if I may, because back 10 or 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the following 4 professors gave a lecture in SuperSonic Sand, and that's Erica Rasha, Charlie Bison, MD Shatlock, and H.L. Swiney from the Center of Non-Linear Dynamics from the University of Texas and the Colorado Research Associates. And according to them, they gave this lecture about this actual thing, which is actually SuperSonic Sand. But what Roddie was given, was very much an obscure, dissected version of that. So so hopefully we don't insult any kind of molecular dynamic scientists out there, because it's a mashup of what the actual technical molecular average velocity, density, and temperature really means to SuperSonic Sand.
I have a PhD now in SuperSonic Sand after all of this.
You're qualified, fully qualified now, Roddie.
I'm a doctor.
No, and it's amazing. We're so happy to have you on the project. Like, obviously, I've heard the song a few hundred times by now because I had to listen to it from inception and all the different stages. And I'm about to introduce you all to a really good friend of mine. This is Gav, and he is in a band called Banba. I started following Banba a year and a month ago when they had 23 likes, and I heard their second song, The Moon, and third song, The Moon, and fell madly in love with them, and then went back to their catalogue and was like, who are these people? They're so mysterious. And then this strange friendship just grew and grew. We messaged each other songs every few days and just have this weird like liking to music. And I was like, Gav, you love a challenge, don't you? And he was like, yes. And I was like, do you want to make me a song? And he was like, yes. So how was that process, Gav?
Oh, it was good. It was very very fun. I've never actually done something like this, despite making however countless amount of tracks. So yeah, it was really, really interesting. And hearing Roddie's voice and the script and everything, it was mad, but very fun process. And yeah, I think it came out quite well, and it's nice to put a face to the voice Roddie as well.
And you too, Gavin. I'm just wondering which one of us is going to receive the Grammy.
Oh well, it would have to be you. I'm the ghost producer. I'll just hang in the back.
Hang back. Or let Sean do it.
We give it to the 4 scientists from 20 years ago. I think they deserve the credit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so bonkers. We genuinely just went SuperSonic Sand, kind of cool ring to it. And then we find out it's a whole thing. We were like, this is just bonkers. Like,
well, I love how it ties in with what Sean does as well as his normal day gig, if you like. And it all kind of intertwines very nicely from that point of view. And yourself, myself, and Sean are living by the coast. And I presume, well, yes, Sinead, are you down this area, Sinead, as well? But the fact you're on the Greenway means you're close by the sea as well, so it all ties in very nicely.
Yeah, that's true enough. So obviously we haven't explained who the wizards angels that are at the bottom are. So I'd like to introduce Caroline, Orla, and Sinead, and how they collaborated on this is a wonderful story. So girls, I'm going to give you all your moment to talk in a moment. They were celebrating a special birthday. And for people at home that don't know this, but my wizard does commission jobs from time to time where he helps people celebrate birthdays in original manners. So while doing that, he had such a good time with his 3 angels that he asked them would they like to help on the project, and they gave us the funnest video ever. Welcome, girls.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much. It was great to be a part of something, even though we didn't know what we were a part of originally. It was a complete surprise. So Orla, I think, deserves the orchestration in that one.
Yeah, I think Sinead only got informed about it as we were walking down the beach and we spotted Sean on the sand, and I had to tell her then that she wasn't here to get a tan, that she was here to do a lot more than that. So hope you enjoyed it, Sinead.
Loved every minute of it and delighted it's part of something bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in this moment in time, a lot of people have forgotten the importance of connection. So being able to connect so many people in a creative outlet like this one, I think is a wonderful gift to be able to pass on to anyone. You know, and I'm so happy you girls were on board and you made such a fun video. And then Sean put so much work into the editing process. Roddie features heavily, not only as the voice, but in the whole thing. Gav made this like so much fun. Like it's one of the fun ones, you know. It's just been incredible to be able to do this. And I'm so grateful for every single one of you for collaborating and being part of the project. Now, obviously, we're on chapter 7. So we would like to talk briefly about the 6 chapters beforehand. So Sean, you wanted to give a shout out to every person that collaborated on this.
Oh yes, well, yeah. This is number 7, so which will come out. This video will go live on Friday. Find out Friday at 8 p.m. So it must be Friday now for you viewing this, I presume, or maybe you viewed it 2 weeks after it was released. But on Saturday, then the following day, we're going to release the film. So we're very excited to show everybody else the film. And in fact, the 7 of us got a bit of a sneak preview just on my other screen. In a very my Zoom isn't working great, so we just shared it on the screen. So, but yeah, a bit of a quick shout out to our first artist was Norullis in Norway with Hoisin Island, and that was followed by a personalized track called The Viqueen Tree by Wob. And then Stephen Brennan gave us Sunset Shore. and that was followed by Andy Killian's piece, Morphine's Rabbit. And then we went back to Belfast with Laps, the things these shores have seen. And then last week, we released a collaboration with Skeleton Joe in Los Angeles called The Jewel in the Crown. So each of the 6 of those, I think, have been very, very different in terms of the process and kind of the end result. There is common things that, each piece is in collaboration with an electronic music artist. Each piece does contain sand art, but if you look even back on the last couple, there was one that contains fire, there was one that contains a hell of a lot of water, and this one it has a very strong dominance of a face on the screen and the 3 Charlie's Angels in front of us here that really, I have to say, fair play to the 3 of you, because when Orla brought Caroline and Sinead down onto the sand and kind of like convinced them, no, come on, this guy is not crazy, he'll be all fine, he does this, it's all right, he'll be all fine, he's not crazy. I brought the 3 of you. I actually remember holding my phone out when Gavin had just, he just mastered the track, and I kind of I played it, I held it out for the 3 of you, and we had this moment on the beach where it was just me, and the beach was packed, it was just me and 3 of us, and everybody must have been looking down and going, what is he got? Like these 3 women just walked up to him, and the 4 of us were huddled around the phone listening to Gav's track. And at that stage, Roddie, of course, had the voiceover had been recorded and amalgamated by Gav into his production, but the video hadn't even been born or the artwork hadn't been created. So I would just like to say thanks so much to the 3 of you for really tugging out. And that scene that you're going to see in the film of the 3 Charlie's Angels lying on their backs like little molecules floating up into the sky as the granular flow and Roddie's words come flooding out on the screen in a kind of a trance-like thing. That for me really just makes it. I think it's just absolutely wonderful. So to the 3 of you, thank you so much for being so brave for digging in and getting involved in creating this.
Can I just say that as the maths teacher among the group, I really do feel like an imposter that this arty collaboration is including me, and I do feel honored, but I am an imposter, but like I'm rolling with it. It was like you on the beach, Sean. Let's just go with it. Do what you feel like. Yeah, go with it.
Well, that's what you get to add 2 art teachers, two artists and a mathematician. That's what you get.
Yeah. But I think that really suits it, because when we had that chat, and we had another chat 10 minutes later, another chat 15 minutes after that, but there came a stage while we were making that art that we all knew the brief, we'd all heard the track, we all knew it was kind of like molecular dynamics and like all this kind of trying to fit kind of it's a trance kind of a thing where this guy is giving this lecture and he's trying to explain all the supersonic sand. So for me, like there was a stage when I turned around and looked at the 3 of you, and I kind of felt my job here is done, because the 3 of you were just, you didn't have to, like there was a lot of collaboration, but there were stages where you just went off and did your thing. And that for me is the glory of it. Like, there was 10 or 15 minutes here and there where you just did your little thing and connected the dots. So don't put yourself down, Caroline. You were a vital part of the mathematical molecular structure of the resulting dynamic.
Yeah, and we're basically mixing science and fun. And that's all this project has been. Do you know what I mean? Just a lot of fun, like in every single way. It's been a great opportunity as well, because maybe people don't know this, but a lot of the artists, like in this instance, for instance, this song was purely created for the project. Pretty much every single song that was given was either created for the project or existed and was being used in a different medium. So like it's getting people to create again. We're stuck at a moment in time where music isn't possible in the way that we used to know it. So like we're giving these challenges to creative lights who really deserve a platform and a way forward. And like, I mean, for me, it's really important as well that a man who really deserves to finally have his voice in a song, finally has his voice in a song. Like that is kind of really important, because Roddie Cleere has worked incredibly hard over the last 40 years fighting for Irish music to be on the radio. And it just seemed like the perfect thing. And what a voice, Roddie, like. Do you know?
So you have to send on any stuff to me, and I'll have to play it. No problem. I'm very fortunate, actually, and on a slightly serious note, that I don't have any limitations when it comes to what I play on the radio. I think that comes from working in the industry for as long as I have done. The only regret I have is that I never got the opportunity to go to the bigger stage, the national stations. But somebody in the national station said to me not too long ago that actually stay where you are, because I have that freedom. You might feel as though you're doing better on being on a national station, but the national stations will I would not be able to play something like Banba or any of the music that's involved in this project if I was doing a program maybe elsewhere. So I'm very fortunate in that the stations that I work with at the moment, which is KC and Kenny, that they don't care what I play because they know that I've served my time, as it were. There is an audience for every kind of music, whatever that music is. And to who was it, you, Orla, saying that you're not a creative kind? Yes, you are. You are now.
Or Caroline.
Oh, it's Caroline.
Caroline, sorry, I beg your pardon. But I mean, Sean, you said it to me as well. That I didn't reckon I was a particularly creative person, and you said yes, you are. And it makes you open your eyes when you do something like this, no matter what your background, be it a person like myself on the radio, or I think there is a creative person. You're absolutely right, Sean. Of a sort, it may not be your level of creativity, but it's there nevertheless.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone's kind of creative in one way or another. I always say that everyone is creative. You just haven't found your medium yet. I think when we start losing our playfulness, we as children, as we grow up, we start forgetting that absolutely everything we do is a way of being creative. Like how you walk, that's an art all of your own. How you talk, that's an art all of your own. Do you know what I mean? Every single thing we do could be perceived as creative if we just opened our eyes a little bit more. I was recently on the beach with Sean. We met for the first time face to face. My son was there and we were just doing all sorts of creative things, and it was a magical day.
Could I also say, thanks so much for everyone for coming in, but I do know that Banba is in Burr, and Orla is in Donegal, and Sinead is in Carlow at the moment. No, Sinead is on the Greenway, and Caroline is in Carlow at the Arboretum. I'd love for the four of you to show us out the window there. Just turn your camera around the four of you, would you? So we see, I'd like to, there's Sinead's bike on the Greenway, and there's Gavin from Banba. It looks like a polytunnel, but I think it's more like a polytunnel at the back of a beer garden. There's Orla in Donegal, and look at the flags from the Arboretum. Hashtag Arboretum Carlow. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Thank you so much. And there's Roddie. There's
Roddie's puppy.
And there's the stone structure, Sean.
Margaret's piece. Yeah, a collaboration. Yeah, fantastic. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful?
It's amazing.
Wonderful. So and in fact, I brought along one of my wife Miranda's, my wife Miranda and one of Rebecca's cousins. That's another long story, but one of her paintings. So any reasonable offer now will be accepted for this beautiful painting. And there's another one of hers over there. So shameless, absolutely shameless. Hashtag Arboretum.
Yeah. I bought my painting yesterday, Sean. I'm terribly sorry. That's me done for 3 months.
This is really nice piece. It's big, it's lilac, it's going to settle down a beautiful green background with this midnight brown. Suit you, Roddie? See that wall with the brown couch? Suit you?
I have my bit of art up there already.
There's a bit of fill in it.
Lizzie, is it? Oh no!
No, it's not. It's a bit of Egyptian papyrus.
Nice. So you haven't filled the house with fill in since Margaret passed, then?
No, not yet. Working on it.
Yeah, so this is the second time Roddie's actually going to be on a compilation of music. Well, because the first time because he's a massive Phil Lynott fan, and he was able to do a beautiful poem on a Phil Lynott tribute album. We're lucky to get him the second time round. Do you know what I mean? Who gets him the third time? The price is going to have to go up.
Well, see, this is my difficult second album.
No.
Oh, brilliant.
Guys, I'm going to stop recording now and let you all get back to your beautiful days.
Thanks a million. Thanks a million, guys. Well done.
Thank
well
you,
done.
Rebecca.
Thanks for
Thanks,
everything.
Gav.
Thank you very
Supersonic
much.
Sand.
Great
Wow,
track.
wow. Well done. Well done.
Thanks, Sean, for bringing us together.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not
Thank
at
you,
all. Thank
John.
Orla for that.
Oh no, thanks. It was brilliant. Thank you so much. I'll definitely have a story to bring back into my classroom when I go back in August. So thank you so much for that.
By the way, I can do a national tour of the schools, but I will charge. I don't get anything for anything less than €10.
I tell you, definitely Banba has got a new follower anyhow.
Yeah.
If you get all the kids in the class to follow as well, that would be amazing.
I tell you definitely. It'll be shared. I'll have to share this onto the school page
Shameless
and everything.
advertisements.
Oh, shit.
Shameless advertisements.
Yeah.
I would recommend that everyone follow Banba. However, that is one of the things I will say before I stop recording, because from 23 followers to having garnished over 100,000 streams on one of their songs in the
Brilliant.
space of a
That's
year.
right.
It is
Incredible work, yeah.
of incredible. They have this
Incredible.
one song called The Moon that hooked me, but at the moment the song I listen to the most is called Feather, which actually amalgamates his incredible speech. You know, you're going to listen to it yourself, but if your hairs don't stand up on your arms when you listen to it, we should not be friends. And I say that till everyone's faces. I'm like, oh, did you hear that song? Did it make you cry? Because if it didn't make you cry, there's something wrong with you.
And it's
Fact.
honestly a huge privilege to be involved with all of you guys as well. Thank you for the opportunity, and it was great fun.
Likewise.
And Roddie Cleere's show is incredible. He's a wonderful interviewer as well, and his podcast, he's done a few amazing ones, and he does try to support Irish as often and as wide as possible. So do reach out to him.
And he hasn't just, as he described, served his time. He's been acknowledged with amazing international and national awards. Like, so, you know, it's not just, you know, when you talk about like national and local radio, it's not like you pull your weight bigger than than the trumpet you're playing.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you to say so.
It's just the truth. There's nothing kind about it. Also, teachers, you're very important. I'm happy we could give you a good time, because you have a hard time in schools all year
Yeah,
round.
no, it's great.
Grateful.
So big shout out to my school, Bunclody Vocational College in Wexford. So there, you've got it in now, guys.
Hey!
Hey. I suppose I better give Kilkenny College Kilkenny a mention as well then, if anyone's
Hey!
Yay!
Oh. What about you,
I'm
Sinead? Who are you
working
gonna...
I'm working as a designer at the moment and stuff, so I don't have a shout out at the moment.
Oh, go
Shout out
on.
to Sinead,
What about your
graphic
mother?
designer.
Your
Yeah.
brother, your sister.
No, I don't have a brother doing it either. But I'll say thank you to. I'll be bringing it to my classroom eventually when I return. But you did an amazing job, and it was such a fun collaboration. So delighted to work on the piece as well. You're very kind.
Oh, what a birthday. Happy birthday, Sinead.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, I'm going to stop recording. Tune in to Supersonic Sand, Chapter 7, Supersonic Sand, 8 p.m. tomorrow. Everybody,
Sonic Sand.
do that again, Roddie.
Do that one more
Sonic
time.
Sand.
Woohoo!